Hey, good morning. It's Dr. Brian from Genesis Family Chiropractic. Hey, we are bringing you yet another episode here of Doc About Town. And today we get a chance to talk with a friend of ours that we've known for a number of years.
Yeah.
Actually, it's been a while. Her name is Alicia Pender. Mm-hmm. She is a realtor with Carpenter Realtors here in Noblesville. Mm-hmm. And it's been fun for us because we've gotten to watch Alicia make that transition into being a realtor, be with her and talk to her as she was doing all her studying and taking her tests and all that. So we're going to give Alicia a chance to kind of give us a little bit of her origin story and tell about what she does and how she helps her clients. So Alicia, welcome.
Thanks.
Glad to have you. This is awesome.
Let's go.
Hey, tell us a little bit about, we got to watch you go through that process of getting into the real estate business, that kind of thing. What was it that triggered that? What was your origin story there? What kind of gave you the first idea to say, hey, I want to go be a realtor?
Yeah, well, first, when I was at a young age, I really was in interior design. So I love going, and of course Josh is a painter. So sometimes I'm in houses and I just love seeing how people live, not in a creepy way, but I love to see their different designs, their different just things that they use to make their home a home. So with Josh being in the painting business and my kids are becoming teenagers, I just decided I wanted to do something that would allow me to have a career once they're out of the home. And real estate just felt like a good fit. It's a somewhat flexible schedule. Just really, I feel like it puts a lot of my good qualities to offer for the business practice.
So that's a really good point you made. You found a career that fits you and what your personalities are, what your skill sets are. What are the things that you feel like you bring to the table that are maybe unique from other realtors? Because I hope this is not offensive, but there are a lot of realtors around.
Yeah, there are. Everybody knows one.
Yeah, or many.
Yeah.
What do you said something about your skill set and what you bring to the table? What would you describe that as?
Well, I don't just care about the transaction. I care about the person, the family, the situations. So I don't just bring it's all about the money to the table. I do care, about the whole transaction, and I'm there with you through the whole transaction. It's not just I put my sign in the yard, see you later. It's every step of the process. I'm a very analytical personality, so I do like my checklists and everything. So I'm very organized. I like to have everything planned as much as it can be. I enjoy doing that whole process.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, so you're kind of shepherding people through that process.
Yes, I like guiding, I like educating,
Okay.
I like, just guiding people through the whole thing.
Okay, that's cool. So it's interesting because I always like to ask a question like this, and it sounds like it's a gotcha question. It's not really a gotcha question. What's one of your nightmare stories?
Nightmare stories. I don't know if I have a nightmare story.
Okay.
There's been some situations that haven't been super easy to deal with, but nightmare. No, I wouldn't say nightmare. Not yet.
Okay.
So far, so good.
Sure.
So.
Well, that's good. That's very good. Yeah. All right, so let's go the other direction then. What would you say is your most rewarding client that you've worked with? What was the one that stands out? You said, boy, if every client process could go like this, my career would just be stellar from start to finish.
Yeah, I do have one of those.
Okay,
so
great.
I had, the opportunity to help a first-time home buyer, single mom, young, to me young, because, but she is so sweet. Again, single mom, had had one young kid and one on the way.
Oh, wow.
And she was doing this all by herself. And I just felt so incredibly blessed to be a part of that whole transaction in that situation, because she was doing this on her own. That was just fun. It was fun to help her, guide her, educate her, just through the whole thing. And so she's so excited. We found the house that she just saw her whole family in, and it was just fun. It was fun to see, almost like, seeing a baby see things through the first time. It's
Sure.
kind of similar to that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
So,
that's really neat. What can you name anything specific about that? And it may be something that happened through that process without giving too much away. I don't want you to breach confidentiality, obviously, but anything specific through that process that you were just like, this is it. I mean, this is what this is all about. Anything like that that jumps out at you?
Yeah, this is why. I think mainly just being with her and being able to educate her is why I kind of got into this. Seeing the excitement, seeing her get those keys that first time. I think I might be a teacher at heart, maybe, because I like to guide. I like to teach. Every situation I try to make into a teaching experience. My kids hate it. But because they always tell me, you're always making it into a teaching moment. Yeah, well, it's my job. But I think just that transaction was a reminder as to why I do what I do.
Okay.
Yeah, if that answers that question.
It does. It absolutely does. Yeah, it's always fun to hear those kind of stories from people about, what is it that keeps you going? Because I'm sure real estate, like any other businesses, there are days when you're just like, what am I doing here? And I mean, what do you do in those moments other than just try to go back to those kinds of experiences and say, yeah, the next one could be another one like that. How do you keep the thing going when you're like, oh man, I just want to go home and curl up in a ball? Because there are days like that, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's days like that. I think for me, again, it goes back to my teaching moments. I like learning. So I try to look at everything as being like a learning experience. So, if something goes weird or there's, I don't know, just surveys all off or, I don't know, inspections weird. I try to learn as much as I can from that experience so that it'll make me better for next time. Sure. So I would say, yeah, there's days where I'm just like, oh my God, why did I do this? But no, I mean, ultimately, I like to learn from every experience. Sure. So that's what keeps me going. So
not only are you looking at the teachable moments, you're also looking for the learning moments, it sounds like. Well, and every great teacher is a lifelong learner. So that's good. Yeah. That's cool. What are interesting things that you have seen, that you learned about the real estate business, maybe that you didn't know before you got into this? I know you and I have talked a little bit about some changes that are happening all the time. But what are maybe some ahas that are just like, oh gosh, I just didn't, even going through your training for testing and licensing, all that, you get into it and you start working, it's amazing how much more you learn. What are maybe some things you learned there that you were like, well, gosh, I didn't realize that was how that worked? Yeah.
Well, and as being a homeowner, and I've been through some of it, just by being a homeowner, but contracts.
Sure.
We're not lawyers, but we deal a lot with contracts, and I had no idea that there was so much involved in things that you have to know in regards to contracts. That's pretty much about it. It's just it's actually quite a lot because legally you have these contracts are legally binding, and so I think that was more of a little bit of a shock, like, oh my God, if I don't do this right, this could be I could go to court or whatever.
Sure.
So,
which is always a scary proposition.
Sure. You don't want to get to that. You don't want to get there. You don't want to get there. Sure. But what I do love about the brokerage I'm with is that they always back you 100% in whatever you do. So that makes me feel better. But I would say contracts. It's a lot.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I would have never thought of that. On the dotting the I's and crossing the T's. There's a lot there, isn't there? Yeah. About that. So let's drill down a little bit now where you're at now, and because your career is developing, which has been fun to watch for us.
Thanks.
What would you say? Let's talk to your audience for a second. Talk to me, but talk to your audience. Somebody who's out there who maybe they know some realtors and they just they're not comfortable working with the ones they know, maybe, or maybe they are. But what sets you apart above and beyond that says, if you're looking for this kind of experience, you need to talk to me? What would that be? Oh, wow. What would that experience be?
Well, I feel like I'd say you'd have to talk to some of my clients, but gosh, What sets me apart? I may be a little too humble to answer that question. I just would like to think that I'm here for whatever, any questions, any calls, for anybody that has any questions at all, or just doesn't understand how the process works or whatever. I'm here 100%, maybe even 110%. Just for everything. I follow through the whole process. I don't just leave you out to dry, or just leave you out to figure it out. I'm here 110% through the whole entire thing and after. I don't just let the transaction close and then you never hear from me again.
Okay.
I follow up. I send notes, I send emails, I send, docs that you might need to file taxes, remind you of file your homestead, that is important. Just all those things. Sure. I don't just let the transaction end and it's over.
Okay,
So,
very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Just kind of wrapping things up here. Is there anything else that maybe I didn't ask you about that you're like, gosh, I'd like people to know this? Anything else you can think of?
Well, I would have to say that anybody out there who happens to see this and is looking for a realtor, make sure you ask questions, that the realtor fits you, that it's just, if you don't work well or mesh well together, it is a relationship. So you want to make sure that, whoever you're working with works well with you. If I can help in any way, let me know.
That's great. So if somebody is looking for a realtor and they really like what they've heard today or seen today, how would they get in touch with you? What's the best way to reach you?
Gosh, I'm online. You can call me, email, website,
Okay.
carpenterrealtors.com. I'm sure you can search and just type in my name.
Okay.
Any of those ways. Facebook, Instagram.
Great.
All that.
So all the channels.
All the channels.
All the channels. You're everywhere.
Even a YouTube. Yeah.
You're like savoir-faire. You're everywhere.
Sure. Yes. Yes.
Okay, great. Well, this has been a cool episode. I've really enjoyed having the time to sit down and talk like this, and I've learned some things today too. So this is Alicia Pender, as you know. If you're looking for a realtor, looking for maybe a change in realtor, or looking for somebody you don't know, or maybe you don't know a realtor, which would be unusual, I think, at least in our area, reach out. Alicia would love to help you out and help you find that next perfect home for you. So have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.